My nephew was backed up worse than a drain clogged with hair. And my psycho sister-in-law, Brenda, insisted that the only cure was shoving live swamp eels up his butt. In my last life, I told her she was insane. I warned her the eels would bore through his guts and cause massive internal bleeding. She listened. Took him to a doctor and he got surgery. But when his constipation came back, she blamed me for wasting money. And brainwashed her brat into poisoning my dinner with rat poison. I died foaming at the mouth. But when I opened my eyes, I was back in that bathroom staring at Brenda holding a slippery, wriggling eel. This time I started clapping. Damn, Brenda. That's genius. Let's lube that sucker up and get it in there. Mama, my tummy hurts. I can't push it out. Tyler's whining voice echoed through the bathroom door. I blinked. Dazed. I looked down at my hand. I was gripping a cheap drugstore enema bottle. Realization hit me like a slap in the face. I was back. I had been reborn. Brenda yanked the bathroom door open. There was Tyler, pants around his ankles, mooning the world with his scrawny, pale butt. Quit whining. Give me that enema. Daisy. You're 20-something years old. And you move slower than a turtle in molasses. Brenda snapped at me, snatching the bottle. She spanked Tyler's ass. Turn around. Tyler pivoted, presenting his cheeks to me. I knew the enema wouldn't do jack shit. The kid hadn't taken a dump in a month. His face was yellow and waxy like old cheese. Back when this started, I told the little glutton to eat some fiber. Apples, broccoli. Anything green. Brenda shut me down instantly. My Tyler is a growing boy. Men need meat. Don't listen to your Aunt Daisy. It's not constipation. It's just that his body absorbs everything because he's so perfect. So Tyler kept stuffing his face with burgers and fried chicken. Until he looked 6 months pregnant. That's when Brenda went to the fish tank. And scooped out the swamp eels. If eels can unclog a sewer pipe in the bayou, they can unclog my son's asshole. Last time I saved him, I paid for the surgery out of my own pocket. And in return, they killed me. Brenda blamed me for the cost that the eels would have been free. And Tyler fed me rat poison. Not this time. I'm done playing captain. Save a hoe. You can't fix stupid. Especially when stupid wants to kill you. Brenda fished out a slimy black patterned eel and walked toward Tyler. She nodded at me to grab hold of the kid. Tyler, baby. This time Mama's gonna fix you right up. Tyler looked back, eyeing the wriggling creature in Brenda's grip. Mama, I'm scared. Is it gonna bite my butt? Brenda shook her head. Her greasy bangs falling in her eyes. Don't be a pussy, son. Eels don't bite. I picked a skinny one. Hospitals are a ripoff. This is nature's way. My hands came together in a slow, loud clap, clap, clap. Wow, Brenda. You really know how to pinch a penny. I never would have thought of that. Brenda rolled her eyes but looked pleased. Your nephew is dying here and you're clapping. Get over here and hold him down. Wait, Brenda. Shoving it in dry seems risky. Don't you think? I said, feigning concern. She glared at me thinking I was going to stop her. Again, I spoke faster. The kid's pipes are dry as a bone. You just jamming it in, it won't slide. Why don't we pour some Dawn dish soap on it? Make it slick. That eel will glide right in like a water slide. Brenda's eyes lit up. Daisy. For once in your life, you're using your brain. She grabbed the bottle of dish soap. And squeezed a massive glob right onto Tyler's asshole. She added a splash of water and started scrubbing it around. Making his crack foam up like a rabid dog. Then she lathered up the eel. The poor creature started the shing wildly from the chemicals. Example of perfect timing. Brenda lined it up with the bullseye and shoved. It went in disturbingly smooth. See? Perfect one. Once the eel clears the blockage, it'll swim right back out. I bit the inside of my cheek to keep from laughing maniacally. Tyler, honey. How's it feel? Tyler stood up, shaking his head. I don't feel nothing, Brenda frowned. Maybe one isn't enough horsepower. I nodded like a bobblehead. Brenda. Logic says two makes a team. She grabbed a second eel from the tank and rammed it up there. Tyler's ass was apparently a clown car. Middle of the night. I was half asleep when I heard creaking. Tyler pushed my bedroom door open. Aunt Daisy, it hurts bad. My butt is burning. I flicked on the bedside lamp. Tyler was draped over the side of my bed. looking like death warmed over. Pathetic. But honestly. Fuck him, I yawned. Stretching my arms. That just means the magic is happening, kiddo. The eels are working overtime. But auntie, I spun him around before he could finish. Go to sleep. Don't ruin the magic. Tyler collapsed onto my rug. He clutched his ass with one hand. And grabbed my pajama leg with the other. Aunt Daisy, if you don't take me to the You'll what? Put rat poison in my lasagna again, sneered. Grabbed him by the collar and hauled him up. Fine, you wanna go? Let's go. Tyler mustered a weak smile. Thanks, auntie. You're the best. I marched him straight into Brenda's room and tossed him onto her bed. Like a sack of potatoes. Brenda woke up screaming. What the hell? It's 3 a.m. I threw my hands up. Don't look at me, Brenda. Your son was begging me to take him to the hospital behind your back. Brenda turned her death stare onto Tyler. Tyler, you don't trust your own mother. You went crying to her. I raised you all by myself. Ungrateful brat. I'm heartbroken. Brenda buried her face in her hands and started fake crying. Loud, ugly sobbing. Tyler panicked. No, Mama. No, I lied to Aunt Daisy. I'm fine. My butt feels great. Your trick worked super good. Brenda instantly stopped crying. Face completely dry, and hugged him. That's my brave boy, I smirked. Oh, my bad, Tyler. You little prankster. You almost had me fooled. Brenda kissed his sweaty forehead. He's got a gift, Daisy. He's a natural actor. You know what? I'm taking him to that casting call tomorrow. He needs to satisfy his creative soul. Tyler nodded frantically. Perfect. I couldn't wait for him to shit his pants on set. The next day, Brenda dragged me along as the assistant. I'm only letting you come because Tyler likes you. Brenda sniffed. When he gets famous in Hollywood, you can carry his bags. At the audition, Tyler walked like a cowboy who'd been riding bareback for a week. Director Miller, this is my Tyler. Brenda announced, shoving the kid forward. He's the next Macaulay Culkin. Director Miller frowned behind his sunglasses. What's wrong with his legs? Tyler looked down, gripping his pants so tight his knuckles were white. Brenda grabbed Tyler's shoulder. Oh, nothing. Just a little heat rash on his tushy. I put some cream on it. He's just shy. Miller shrugged. Whatever. Get him to wardrobe. He looks a bit jaundiced. But that works. We need a sickly-looking kid for this part. Tyler bit his lip until it bled. I smiled. It must feel like a rape party inside his rectum right now. In the dressing room, the makeup artist handed Tyler a raggedy peasant costume. Brenda flipped out. Excuse me. You giving my son trash to wear? She threw the costume on the floor. I know what this is. You're bullying him because we're new. I'm a single mother, you bitch. Don't test me. The makeup girl put her hands on her hips. Lady, it's the character's costume. He plays a poor kid. Take it or leave it. I got 50 kids in line. Don't lie to me. The director loves my son. Brenda grabbed the girl's arm. We're going to the director. Tyler tugged my shirt. I looked down. He was sweating bullets. His face purple. Aunt Daisy, I gotta poop. Holy crap. Maybe the eels actually worked. Or maybe they were just trying to escape. Go for it, champ. I waited outside the stall. Nothing. Brenda finished yelling at the crew and got him a better costume. Which looked exactly the same. Tyler, move your ass. Lights, camera. Action, Brenda hollered. Tyler stumbled out. Mama. My legs are numb. And Brenda scooped him up. Nerves, you'll be fine. The scene was a period piece. Tyler played a fisherman's son getting kidnapped by bandits. Simple stuff. Kidnapped. Tie him up, throw him on a horse. Heroes save him. Because they were testing screen chemistry. The director was live streaming the rehearsal on TikTok to build hype. Brenda stood by the camera squawking. That's my son on the horse. Get his good side. The director is obsessed with him. The actor playing the bandit slapped Tyler's ass to pretend to secure him. Quiet, kid. Tyler screamed a blood-curdling screech. But Miller yelled clapping. Fantastic emotion. That scream was visceral. Again, Brenda beamed. See, try getting that from a Nepo baby. I knew better. That wasn't acting. That was the eels biting back. The bandit actor raised his hand for take two, and I watched Tyler's face contort into something between agony and absolute terror. His skin had taken on a greenish tint that the lighting crew probably thought was intentional ambience. Cut. Beautiful work, kid. Director Miller shouted, rewinding the footage on his monitor. That raw emotion, you can't teach that. It's pure instinct. Brenda practically levitated with pride, her chest puffing out like a rooster at dawn. Of course it's instinct. He gets it from me. I was almost cast in a commercial once, you know. The live stream chat was exploding. Comments flooded in faster than I could read them, thousands of viewers captivated by Tyler's performance. Someone had already made a gif of his scream. Another comment read, "This kid is going places. Oscar material." I had to hand it to fate. This was better than any revenge I could have planned. Tyler wobbled off the horse, his legs buckling beneath him like a newborn foal. The costume designer rushed over with a concerned expression, adjusting the rope marks on his wrists that were supposed to be fake but looked disturbingly real given how tightly he'd been clenching every muscle in his body. "Bathroom," Tyler whispered to me, his voice barely audible. Desperation radiated from every pore. "Brenda's talking to the producers," I said sweetly, loud enough for the crew to hear. "She'd be so disappointed if you interrupted her big moment. You know how she feels about professionalism on set." Tyler's eyes went wide, pleading. I could see the internal calculation happening, the mathematical certainty of his mother's wrath versus the biological emergency currently staging a hostile takeover of his digestive system. He chose poorly. "I can wait," he muttered, shuffling back toward the set like a penguin with dignity issues. Director Miller was already setting up the next scene. "All right, this one's the escape sequence. Tyler, you're going to run through the forest, dodge some low branches, jump over a log, and then collapse dramatically when you reach the clearing. Think you can handle that?" Brenda answered before Tyler could speak. "Handle it? He'll make it legendary. My son has the stamina of an Olympic athlete. Show them your moves, Tyler." The forest set was actually just the wooded area behind the studio lot, real trees, real dirt, real uneven terrain perfect for twisting an ankle. The camera crew positioned themselves along the path, ready to capture Tyler's dramatic flight to freedom. Tyler took his mark at the starting point, visibly trembling. The assistant director counted down. "Action in 3, 2, 1, go." Tyler ran. Or rather, he attempted to run while maintaining a clench that would have impressed a yoga instructor. His gait was somewhere between a waddle and a gallop, arms flailing for balance, face cycling through shades of distress that registered beautifully on camera. He ducked under the first branch, barely. The second one clipped his shoulder, spinning him slightly off course. The camera crew was eating it up, following his every jerky movement with professional precision. Then came the log. In the script, Tyler was supposed to vault over it gracefully. What actually happened was that his foot caught the edge, and he went airborne in the least graceful way possible, a full horizontal sprawl that ended with him face down in a pile of leaves that had definitely seen better days. Cut. Holy shit, that was incredible. Miller was on his feet, practically dancing. "The way you committed to that fall, pure gold. Did you choreograph that yourself?" Tyler lifted his head, spitting out leaves and what I sincerely hoped was just mud. His eyes met mine across the clearing, and I saw something shift in his expression. Recognition, maybe. The dawning realization that karma wasn't just a concept, it was a live eel with a vendetta. Brenda rushed over, but not to check if he was hurt. "Baby, that was amazing. Did you see how many comments we're getting? The live stream has 50,000 viewers now." The makeup artist appeared with a brush, trying to deforest Tyler's hair. "Kid, you're a natural. Most child actors would have stopped after that fall. You just kept going." Tyler hadn't kept going. He'd simply been too disoriented to stop. But I wasn't about to correct anyone's interpretation of events. "One more take," Miller announced. "I want to get it from a different angle." "Tyler, same energy, same commitment. Can you do that for me?" "Actually," I interjected, channeling my most concerned aunt voice, "maybe Tyler should take a quick break? He looks a little flushed." Brenda whipped around, eyes narrowing. "Daisy, stop babying him. He's fine. You're always trying to make him look weak." I held up my hands in surrender. "You're right, Brenda. I don't know what I was thinking. Tyler's clearly in his element." Tyler shot me a look that could have curdled milk. "Good. Let him understand what it felt like to be helpless while someone smiled and watched you suffer." The second take was even more spectacular than the first. Tyler's run had devolved into something that resembled a three-legged race where he was both participants. The cameras loved it. The live stream chat loved it. Director Miller loved it so much he was already talking about featuring Tyler in the promotional materials. This is it. Miller shouted to his crew. This is the authenticity modern audiences crave. Forget those polished Hollywood kids, this is real. During the lunch break, catering set up a spread that would have made Tyler's constipated colon weep: fried chicken, mac and cheese, barbecue ribs, cornbread dripping with butter, and absolutely zero vegetables in sight. Brenda loaded up Tyler's plate with enough food to feed a small battalion. Eat up, baby. You need your strength. They want to shoot the big finale scene after lunch, the one where you get rescued and reunite with your family. Tyler stared at the plate like it was a death sentence. Mama, I'm not really hungry. Not hungry? Brenda's voice climbed an octave. Tyler James Morrison, I didn't raise a son who turns down good food. You eat every bite. You think those fancy Hollywood kids got where they are by being picky? I watched Tyler mechanically shovel food into his mouth, each swallow looking more painful than the last. The eels were probably having the feast of their lives in there, thrashing around like they'd won the lottery. The afternoon sun was unforgiving, beating down on the outdoor set where they'd constructed a mock village square for the reunion scene. Tyler was supposed to run into his on-screen mother's arms, cry tears of joy, and deliver a heartfelt monologue about being grateful to be home. What could possibly go wrong? Tyler took his position across the square, the cameras rolling, the live stream viewer count now pushing past 100,000. Brenda had her phone out, recording her own behind-the-scenes footage for her social media. She'd already changed her bio to momager to Hollywood's next big star. Action. Tyler started his run toward the actress playing his mother. 3 steps in, his face did something extraordinary, it cycled through every emotion known to mankind in under 2 seconds. Surprise. Horror. Resignation. Acceptance of fate. His run slowed to a stop. He stood perfectly still in the center of the square, cameras surrounding him from every angle, 100,000 people watching live, and the most profound realization washing over his features. Tyler started, his voice carrying across the set with unexpected clarity. I need to tell the truth. Director Miller leaned forward, intrigued. Is this improvisation? Keep rolling. My mom, Tyler continued, and I felt my spine straighten with attention, my mom put eels in my butt. The set went silent. The kind of silent that happens right before an earthquake, when all the animals stop moving and the air itself holds its breath. There are eels swimming around inside me right now, Tyler said, his voice gaining strength from sheer desperation. Live swamp eels. Because I was constipated and she said hospitals are a scam and the eels would unclog me naturally, but they haven't, and I think they're biting my intestines and everything hurts in. Cut. Miller's voice cracked like a whip, but Tyler wasn't done. And she made Aunt Daisy help, even though Aunt Daisy tried to stop her last time, but we killed Aunt Daisy with rat poison because Mom said she wasted our money on surgery and I put the poison in her food and watched her die in. The words tumbled out faster and faster, a confession sprinting toward its inevitable conclusion. Brenda's face had gone from proud to pale to purple in record time. Tyler. Stop talking. He's delirious from the heat. Someone get him water. But the crew wasn't moving. They were staring, mouths agape, trying to process what they were hearing. The livestream chat had exploded into absolute chaos. And then I woke up this morning and I was alive again and the eels went back in and everything is happening again but worse and I can feel them moving in. Tyler's monologue cut off abruptly as his body finally gave up the fight. He bent forward, clutching his stomach, and released a sound that was part groan, part sob, part primal scream. Then nature took its course. I won't describe the details out of respect for everyone involved, but let's just say the costume department's insurance was about to get very interesting. What happened next unfolded with the kind of beautiful chaos that you can't script. The actress playing Tyler's mother stumbled backward, hand over her mouth. Director Miller dropped his megaphone. The camera operators, bless their professional hearts, kept filming, partly from shock, partly from the journalistic instinct that they were witnessing something unprecedented. And the livestream? The livestream captured everything. Within minutes, the clip had been downloaded, shared, and replicated across every social media platform known to mankind. You couldn't delete it fast enough. Someone had already auto-tuned Tyler's confession into a remix. Another person had created an animated recreation. The memes were multiplying like rabbits on espresso. Brenda tried to spin it. He's method acting. My brilliant son is so committed to his craft that he... Ma'am. A production assistant with a clipboard and a very official expression stepped forward. We need to call emergency services. Your son just admitted to having live animals inside his digestive tract. That's a medical emergency. And child abuse, someone else muttered, not quite quietly enough. Brenda's face cycled through a fascinating array of expressions before settling on indignant fury. How dare you? I'm his mother. I know what's best for him. This is natural medicine. People have been using eels for centuries. To unclog drains, lady, not children. This came from one of the grips, a burly guy who looked like he'd seen some things but never anything quite like this. Tyler had collapsed onto the ground, curled in a fetal position, making sounds that would haunt my dreams for entirely different reasons than his rat poison adventure had. The ambulance arrived within 15 minutes, sirens wailing. The paramedics took one look at Tyler, listened to his increasingly incoherent explanation about the wiggling and make them stop, and loaded him onto a stretcher with the kind of urgency usually reserved for actual emergencies. Because this was an actual emergency. Brenda tried to climb into the ambulance with him. I'm his mother. I have rights. One of the paramedics, a woman with a steel spine and zero tolerance for nonsense, held up her hand. Ma'am, based on what we've heard and what's been documented on that live stream, there are going to be some questions. Child Protective Services has already been notified. The color drained from Brenda's face. CPS? But I was helping him. I was saving money. Hospitals are corrupt. They just want to pump him full of chemicals and... You put eels in your son's rectum, the paramedic said flatly. Live eels. That's not medicine. That's abuse. I stood back, watching Brenda's world crumble in real time. Part of me felt vindicated. This was justice for my last life, for the rat poison, for every time she dismissed my concerns and bullied me into compliance. But another part of me, a surprisingly large part, just felt tired. Revenge was supposed to feel better than this. The hospital scene was less dramatic than the film set, but infinitely more surreal. Tyler was rushed into emergency surgery to remove the eels before they could cause serious internal damage. Brenda was escorted to a waiting room where 2 police officers and a CPS caseworker were ready to have a very long conversation with her. I sat in a different waiting area, scrolling through my phone, watching the internet's reaction unfold in real time. #Eelgate was trending worldwide. There were think pieces about alternative medicine gone wrong. Parenting forums were having meltdowns. Medical professionals were posting explanatory videos about why you should never, under any circumstances, insert live animals into any orifice for any reason. Someone had started a GoFundMe for Tyler's therapy bills that had already raised $50,000. Director Miller had released a statement, "We at Silverstone Productions do not condone child abuse in any form. The footage from today's shoot will be handed over to authorities. We wish Tyler a full recovery and hope he receives the help he needs." The footage. God, the footage was everywhere. Tyler's confession, his breakdown, the aftermath. It would follow him forever, probably. But it would also follow Brenda. And maybe that was the real justice. 3 hours later, a surgeon emerged and found me in the waiting room. "Are you family?" "I'm his aunt." "The one he mentioned?" "Who tried to stop this before?" I nodded slowly, realizing that Tyler's confession had been more comprehensive than I'd initially processed. The surgeon sat down, pulling his surgical cap off with a weary sigh. "He's stable. We removed 2 swamp eels, both alive, both very aggressive. There was some internal damage from the soap and from the eel's attempts to navigate. Nothing permanent, but he's going to need monitoring and possibly some follow-up procedures." "Will he be okay?" "Physically? Yes, with time and proper care." "Psychologically?" The surgeon shook his head. "That's above my pay grade, but I'd recommend intensive therapy. For everyone involved." Brenda was charged with child endangerment and reckless abuse. The evidence was overwhelming, the live stream had documented everything, and Tyler's medical records confirmed the horror story. She was released on bail but forbidden from having unsupervised contact with Tyler. I became his temporary guardian while CPS investigated permanent placement options. The first night Tyler came home with me, to my actual apartment, not Brenda's house, he sat at my kitchen table, moving his fork through a bowl of vegetable soup without eating. "I'm sorry," he finally said, voice small. I looked up from my own bowl. "For which part?" "The rat poison. Killing you. I mean." He struggled with the words, his young face trying to reconcile impossible memories. "I don't know if it really happened or if I'm going crazy, but I remember it. I remember you dying because of me." The apartment was quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator and the distant sound of traffic outside. "You were a kid," I said carefully. "Being manipulated by an adult you trusted. That doesn't make it okay, but it makes it complicated. I said all that stuff on camera. Tyler's eyes were red-rimmed. Everyone knows now. About the eels and the poison and everything. I can't go to school. I can't go anywhere. I'm the eel kid forever. He wasn't wrong. The internet had a long memory and zero mercy. So we move, I said simply. New city, new school, new start. I've been thinking about relocating anyway. Toronto's too expensive. Tyler looked up, surprise breaking through his misery. You do that? After everything? You're 11 years old, Tyler. You made terrible choices because a terrible adult taught you terrible things. But you're also the kid who finally told the truth when it mattered, even though you knew it would destroy everything. That takes guts. I only told the truth because the eels were killing me and I was scared. Motivation doesn't change the outcome. You spoke up. That's what matters. We ate in silence for a while. Tyler actually managed to swallow some vegetables, probably because his digestive system was so traumatized that fiber suddenly seemed appealing. What about Mom? He asked eventually. What about her? Are they going to send her to jail? I set down my spoon. Probably not jail. Probation, mandatory counseling, parenting classes. They'll monitor the situation. But Tyler, she can't be your primary guardian anymore. Not after this. Good, he said quietly, then looked shocked at his own words. Is it bad that I feel good about that? No. It means you're starting to understand what healthy boundaries look like. The trial was mercifully quick. Brenda pleaded no contest to child endangerment in exchange for a lighter sentence, 3 years probation, mandatory psychiatric evaluation, parenting classes, and supervised visitation only. The judge had watched the live-stream footage and hadn't been impressed by Brenda's creative approach to pediatric care. During the sentencing, Brenda stood before the judge with her lawyer whispering frantically in her ear. The courtroom was packed, journalists, curious onlookers, and even some people who'd become invested in Tyler's story through social media. Ms. Morrison, the judge said, her voice carrying the weight of someone who'd seen too many preventable tragedies, do you understand the severity of what you've done? Brenda's mouth opened, closed, opened again. For once in her life, she seemed genuinely at a loss for words. You took a child's medical emergency and turned it into a nightmare because you valued your own judgment over professional expertise. You prioritized saving money over your son's safety. You manipulated, gaslit, and endangered a minor in your care. I was trying to help him, Brenda whispered. No, the judge said firmly. You were trying to be right. There's a difference. And your son nearly paid for your arrogance with his life. I sat in the gallery, Tyler beside me. His hand found mine and squeezed. I squeezed back. 6 months later, Tyler and I had settled into a new routine in a small town outside Vancouver. Different country, different province, different life. He'd enrolled in school under a slightly modified name, Tyler James instead of Tyler Morrison, and so far, no one had connected him to the viral eel incident. Therapy was helping. His counselor, Dr. Martinez, specialized in childhood trauma and family dysfunction. Tyler went twice a week and actually seemed to be processing things in healthy ways. Dr. Martinez says I have complex PTSD, Tyler told me one afternoon while we were grocery shopping. He said it matter-of-factly, the way another kid might announce their soccer practice schedule. That makes sense, I replied, comparing prices on pasta brands. She says it's from the psychological manipulation and medical abuse, not just the eel thing. Also makes sense. Tyler grabbed a bag of apples and put them in our cart without being asked. 6 months ago, that would have been unthinkable. Now it was routine. Do you think I'll ever be normal? He asked quietly. I stopped walking and looked at him, really looked at him. He'd grown 2 inches, filled out a little now that his diet included actual nutrients. The yellow tinge had faded from his skin. But more than that, something in his eyes had changed. The spoiled, entitled glint had been replaced by something more grounded. More real. I think normal is overrated, I said. But I think you'll be okay. Better than okay, eventually. Because of you. Because of you. You did the hard part, Tyler. You told the truth. You chose to change. I'm just here to help with the logistics. We finished shopping and headed home to the small two-bedroom apartment that had become our sanctuary. It wasn't fancy, but it was safe. Clean. Free of live eels and toxic family dynamics. That evening, Tyler was doing homework at the kitchen table when his phone buzzed. He glanced at it, frowned, and showed me the screen. It was a message from Brenda. "She's allowed to text now," I said. "As long as it's not manipulative or abusive." "Do you want to read it?" Tyler hesitated, then nodded. He opened the message and read aloud. "Tyler, I've been working with my therapist on understanding what I did wrong. I want you to know that I'm sorry. I thought I was protecting you from a corrupt system, but I was really just protecting my own ego. I hurt you badly. I'm not asking for forgiveness, I don't deserve it. I just wanted you to know that I'm trying to be better. I hope you're happy and healthy. Love, Mom." The kitchen was quiet. Tyler read the message 3 times, his expression unreadable. "What do you think?" I asked. "I think." Tyler set down his phone carefully. "I think she means it. But I also think it doesn't change anything. Like, I'm glad she's getting help, but I don't want to live with her again. Ever. That's fair. Can I say that? That I forgive her but I don't want to see her? You can say whatever you need to say. This is your healing, Tyler. You get to decide what that looks like." He picked up his phone and typed slowly. "Thanks for apologizing. I'm doing good here with Aunt Daisy. I'm not ready to talk more yet. Maybe someday. Hope you're doing better too." He hit send before he could second guess himself. "There," he said, exhaling hard. "Done. Proud of you, kid. Dr. Martinez says setting boundaries is part of recovery. Dr. Martinez is right." Tyler returned to his homework, actual schoolwork about the water cycle, not experimental hydrology involving his digestive system. Progress. A year after the incident, Tyler's story had faded from the viral consciousness, replaced by newer scandals and fresher memes. But the impact lingered in unexpected ways. The incident had sparked a legitimate conversation about alternative medicine, parental rights versus child safety, and the dangers of medical misinformation. Several influencers who'd been promoting dangerous natural remedies had been deplatformed. New regulations were proposed for monitoring online health advice. Tyler had become an accidental advocate, though he didn't seek the spotlight. A journalist had reached out, wanting to do a "Where is he now?" piece. Tyler had declined, but he'd written a short statement that I'd helped him edit. "I was a kid who got hurt because the adults around me valued being right over being safe. If my story helps other kids speak up when something doesn't feel right, then maybe all of this meant something. Trust doctors. Question anyone who tells you not to. And if someone ever tries to put an eel in your butt, run." It was honest, age-appropriate, and just self-aware enough to be endearing. The statement was published in a minor online magazine and got a moderate amount of traction. More importantly, it gave Tyler closure. He was doing well in school now, B's and C's, nothing spectacular, but honest work from a kid who was actually trying. He'd made friends, joined the chess club, and discovered a genuine talent for creative writing. His English teacher had submitted one of his short stories to a young writers' competition. The story was about a boy who got a second chance to make better choices. It won 3rd place. On the anniversary of the incident, Tyler and I sat on the balcony of our apartment, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and pink. "Do you ever think about it?" Tyler asked. "About dying and coming back?" I'd been waiting for this question. "Sometimes. Mostly I think about how strange it is that we both remember it. Dr. Martinez says it might have been a shared psychotic episode triggered by trauma." "And what do you think?" Tyler was quiet for a long moment, watching a bird circle overhead. "I think it doesn't matter if it was real or not. What matters is what we did with it. Like, if it was real, then we got a second chance. If it wasn't real, then we both woke up and decided to be better people at the same time. Either way, same result." "When did you get so philosophical?" "I have a lot of therapy," he said with a slight smile. We sat in comfortable silence until the sky darkened and the first stars appeared. "Aunt Daisy?" "Yeah? Thank you for not giving up on me. Even when I was the worst. Thanks for not staying the worst. It wasn't a perfect ending. Tyler would carry scars, physical and psychological, for the rest of his life. Brenda was a work in progress at best. The internet never truly forgot, and somewhere out there, the eel incident would live forever in the digital archives. But Tyler was safe. He was healing. He was learning what healthy relationships looked like and how to advocate for himself. He was eating vegetables voluntarily and doing his homework without being threatened. In this life, that was as close to a happy ending as we were going to get. And honestly, it was enough. 3 years later, Tyler was 14 and somehow even taller. He'd shot up like a weed, all gangly limbs and awkward teenage energy. We'd stayed in Vancouver, settling into a life that felt remarkably normal considering everything that had happened. He burst through the apartment door one afternoon, backpack flying. "Aunt Daisy. You're not going to believe this." I looked up from my laptop where I'd been working on graphic design projects, my new freelance career that actually paid the bills. "What happened?" "I got cast in a play. Like, the lead role." My stomach did a complicated flip. "A play? At school?" "Yeah. It's Shakespeare, well, a modernized version. I'm playing Romeo." "Can you believe it? Me, acting." The irony wasn't lost on either of us. Tyler seemed to realize it at the same moment. His enthusiasm dimmed slightly. "Is that weird? After everything?" I closed my laptop and gave him my full attention. "Is it weird for you?" "I don't know. Maybe? But like, I actually love it. Not the viral video nightmare stuff, but actual acting. Learning lines, becoming someone else, telling stories. It's..." He struggled for words. "It's like therapy but fun?" "Then it's not weird. It's healing." Dr. Martinez said the same thing. Dr. Martinez is earning her paycheck. Tyler flopped onto the couch, his long legs draped over the armrest. "Mom texted me yesterday. Said she saw on my Instagram that I joined the drama club." Brenda and Tyler had progressed to occasional supervised visits and monitored digital contact. It was slow, carefully managed, and would probably never look like a traditional mother-son relationship. But it was honest, which was more than they'd had before. "How do you feel about her knowing?" "Okay, I guess." She said she was proud of me. Didn't make it weird or about her. Just, normal mom stuff. Progress. Yeah. Tyler was quiet for a moment. "You know what's funny? In the play, there's this whole thing about family feuds and people dying because of stupid decisions and then getting a second chance at understanding. It's like art imitating life imitating art imitating that one time I had eels in my..." "I get it," I interrupted, laughing despite myself. Tyler grinned, a real, genuine, teenage grin that had nothing to do with performing for anyone. "Opening night is in 6 weeks. You'll come, right? Front row center. Even though people might recognize me? Let them. You're not the eel kid anymore, Tyler. You're just a kid. A weird, complicated, occasionally annoying kid who's doing his best. And that's exactly who you should be." He thought about that, then nodded. "Yeah. Okay. I can work with that." As Tyler disappeared into his room to practice his lines, I sat back and marveled at the strange, winding path that had brought us here. From rat poison to rebirth to eels to redemption. Life was weird.